everybody. This is Football Psyche, and I'm Coach Mad Mike.
And this is Large Sarge.
All right, Large Sarge, we are doing our breakdown this week on the NFC North. We're finished with the NFC. We are now starting on the NFC, and we are going into your division, buddy.
I appreciate it. And thank you to all of our fans out there who have been on the community and responding to our polls. We got some really interesting stuff on the polls that we'll be responding to. But tonight, in tonight's episode, the Lions win. Tonight, how will the NFC North team standings change in 2024? Oh, we've got a lot to talk about. What's the biggest question surrounding every team in the NFC North? And there are quite a few. And what are we most excited to see from each team? Oh, yeah.
We got to be excited about something.
Yep.
All right, so the NFL schedule, we are in the heart of OTAs, which this time of year, typically things slow down a little bit. Some teams are working, some teams aren't. Some teams, and there's just usually not a lot of news yet because, pads haven't going on yet and injuries haven't started kicking in. So it's kind of a little bit of a quiet time, but we still got plenty of breakdown analysis from you. And so let's get into it.
Oh, yeah. All right. So my Lions, before I start on the Lions, I need to get some preparation. I need some George Dickel 12 year because this is going to get deep here. And you see them colors there, Coach Mad Mike. You see them colors?
I see those colors. They look a little bit like mine.
Something seem like it matching to you there.
Oh my goodness.
We got some Honolulu blue on my whiskey. All right. So listen, folks. I'm a Lions fan. If you couldn't tell. And we were at the draft this year, Coach Mad, Mike, and me. And we had a blast. We saw nothing but a sea of blue out there. And we saw other teams too. And we talked to them. We got them on our interviews. Please check out our channel. But I have never in my life, except for the playoff games in that stadium, seen so much Honolulu blue. Cheers to Detroit. And cheers to Detroit for winning.
They call it Honolulu blue? It looks like baby blue to me.
Yeah, it's called Honolulu blue there, Coach Mad Mike, Redskin fan number one.
You don't have a Honolulu in Detroit.
I know. But it's Honolulu blue, man, like the blue water in Honolulu. So,
okay.
Marquee additions this year. After losing Jonah Jackson, our offensive guard, because of salary and cap issues and whatnot, we picked up DJ Reader from Cincinnati, which I think is an insanely good pickup in the offseason. We got Kevin Zeitler to replace Jonah Jackson from Baltimore. Took away one of Baltimore's best guys. Oh, yeah. We got Amik Robertson and cornerback for the Raiders. Great cornerback. We got Carlton Davis from Tampa Bay. Another huge pickup at corner. And we got Marcus Davenport, an outside linebacker from Minnesota. All these are marquee players.
Some of
them might be one-year trick ponies, right? But if we're going to make a run, Coach Mad Mike, don't you think those are great additions?
I do, and I think you guys picked up a secondary help there in the draft too. So I mean,
we did.
With Taron Arnold and Rakestraw. Taron Arnold is going to be probably defensive rookie of the year. That dude's a beast. And I'm telling you, don't fall asleep on Rakestraw, even though he's kind of projected to be a backup. But you get him behind Robertson and Davis. You've got a secondary now. The days of Sutton are long gone. We
did lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who I happen to be sweet on, and I know as you were playing the defense in Madden with him, you were he was there, but in Madden he wasn't that doggone good. But on the field, he played. So safety is a concern that I think we still might have a weakness at, but we'll see. And we did get another linebacker, lose another linebacker to Washington, of all teams, Pittman, who did pretty good last year. He's going to be a good addition to the Skins. Not too bad. So I think the biggest concerns we had going into the year were the safety, because we totally took care of cornerback, which we needed. And then, looking at the depth chart, we don't have anyone behind Goff, really. We don't have a great number two. We don't have a good number two. We got a below average number two and a guy who shouldn't even be in the league is number three. Just saying. The next week is
Hendon Hooker, and then you have Nate Sunfeld.
Sudfeld's been around, 13, 14, 15 years now?
Yeah, he used to be a Commander for a little, or a Redskin at the time for a little while.
And
Maybe it was a football
Hooker
team.
was a draft pick hopeful, and then he got injured in preseason last year, if I'm not mistaken, and he was out for the entire year. So we'll see if he's got anything. But if Goff goes down, the Lions could be in a lot of trouble. With the offensive line being the way it is, I expect Goff to be okay, to be healthy, but you never know. It's the NFL, right?
It's the NFL.
So did the Lions address the defensive back situation? Hell yeah. Is there someone behind Goff who can care if he goes down?
Yeah.
I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there.
The next weakness we've got, our roster holes, I'm going to say is a wide receiver core. Now,
Really?
Yeah. Jameson missed the first 3 games of last year, first 4 games due to the suspension. He only had 2 games where he caught a few balls. He only had 1 or 2 games over 100 yards. He's developing. So I can't say while he's got the speed, he's got all the talent. He was just coming to his own. So is he proven? No. And behind him, pull up the depth chart on the next one.
So, you got Amon St. Brown. He's freaking good to go.
He's okay.
No, Amon St. Brown.
Fan.
Dude, he is.
You got the Packers depth chart. It's all right. Go back.
The Packers depth chart. All right, well, we'll back off of that then.
So they're not proven. Amon St. Brown was proven last year, but
yeah. So you got Amon St. Brown, you got Khalif Raymond, and you got Jameson Williams as your
Raymond slack, and Williams needs to step up. He needs to prove himself this year. He's got to do it. He's got to do it.
I think he will. I think
I think there's a question mark on the wide receiver core. What are we working with? Now, in our favor, I think we haven't talked this about before in the other division stuff. Hold a sec. Here's a little dickle. Strength of schedule, SOS. The Lions are right down the middle of the road. So I think that's good news for them. And I think that sets them up very well with how they did in the offseason, stuff, and in the draft, how they did with the draft, who they picked up. I think they covered the holes they needed to cover, and I think the team has improved from last year.
So I'll even go a step further. I actually think this team's going to do phenomenal.
Are you predicting a Lions win?
I'm predicting some Lions wins. I'm going to probably be higher on your team than you are of yourself. I actually think they did feel their offensive line issues. You could say Jonah Jackson was a huge loss, but Kevin Zeitler is going to be just perfect in that spot. You're not losing anything there. I think your wide receivers will step up. I believe, usually when you have a wide receiver who his pride's on the line, like Jameson, they usually come back pretty freaking strong.
He should be strong. So, what do you think Rory the Lion would say?
I don't care about Rory the Lion. But I really think, when I even look at your safety situation, I get the guy that you lost, but you still got Kirby Joseph, and you got Ifatu Mifawa, whatever his name is.
We got some players. We didn't decrease.
Yeah, I think overall your team has really improved, and I don't think people really understand what a significant pickup for an already powerful defense like DJ Reader is. Now, they had a lot of lower ranking stuff, like the weakness according to overall rankings, and I've done a special edition on the Lions. We just got to finish filming it and getting it out there to you guys. So if you guys are Lions fans like Large Sarge, it's coming. It'll be out within the next week. And I break this down a little bit, but this defense improved so significantly more to catch up to where the offense was. I think that they're going to be a powerhouse this year.
They might have overdone it on the cornerback side. They might have overdone it.
I don't think you can overdo it in a passing league, but
what a great point, Coach Mad Mike. I ain't crying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't cry. I love what they did. So, all right, let's move on here.
We should be on track to do as good as we did the year before. So,
yeah.
All right. I decided to take on the Bears, folks. I love me some Bears. I like me some Bears. Can't you tell? The Bears. So, you got additions here. Keenan Allen standing beside DJ Moore. Oh, dear Lord. What a wide receiver core. with Caleb Williams for the #1 draft pick. If he can throw the ball, look at who he's got to throw to.
He's got weapons.
DeAndre Swift was a Lion. He didn't do so good as a Lion. And he went to Philly, and all of a sudden the boy got legs and speed and hands and ball busting, bust through the line toughness. So they picked up DeAndre. If he plays this year like he played last year, oh, hell, they got a running game. They got Byard as a safety from Philly. Great pickup from Philly. And Gerald Everett as a tight end from the Chargers. A good tight end. So I think the Chicago Bears made some major improvements in the offseason in that condition. I disagree completely with losing Justin Fields. Darnell Mooney, wide receiver, was a big loss. And Justin Jones was a big loss to Arizona. So what did they do to fix that in the draft? Well, they got Caleb Williams as a quarterback because they had to figure out a quarterback. You get rid of Cousins and you get rid of Fields. I mean, it's empty, right? They got a Dunze, in the first round as a wide receiver. So there's another target for Caleb Williams. Literally has no excuse. Literally.
Nope.
You agree?
I agree.
And I got Kieran Amajaji as an offensive lineman out of Yale in round 3. He might not start, but he looks good. So the big question mark is Caleb Williams ready to go? And we've been watching film. We've been watching stuff out of the OTAs, right, Coach Mad Mike?
We have.
What's the news, Coach Mad Mike, on Caleb? What's the scoop?
Well, the scoop is that he's up and down right now. So he had some kind of OTAs where he was throwing a lot of picks. He had other ones where he was tightening it up. There was times that he looked strong. I mean, he's a little bit roller coastery right now.
You gonna call the #1 draft pick the bust?
Nope, I'm not. It's too early to say that. but as you guys know, historically, I always crap on Chicago quarterbacks because Chicago in Soldier Field, it is a strange place. And if you're a Bears fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yep. When the wind starts blowing and it starts getting cold, those are not favorable conditions for quarterbacks.
Yep.
And that's when you find out what a quarterback's really made of. And most quarterbacks in Chicago fail in that environment. So, you're talking about a guy who grew up in the D.C. area and he played college out in California. He don't know Chicago.
Yeah, it's going to get cold.
Right now, it's perfect conditions over there in Chicago, and he's throwing picks in practice. What happens when it starts getting cold and the wind starts blowing?
But Coach Mad Mike, he's got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore.
He's got to get him the ball.
And Rome, you're doing there. The boy has no excuse. He's
got to get him the ball, though.
The Bears, I thought, did a fantastic job building that wide receiver core and building a wide receiver locker room for that boy to excel in. So it's up to him, right?
Yeah, but here's the issue that I have. I am not a huge fan of their secondary. And if Caleb Williams is throwing a lot of picks in practice with that secondary, what's he going to do when he goes up against
you got a point there. You got a point there, Coach Mad Mike.
What's going to happen to him when he goes up against the Lions secondary?
Well, the only thing we can say for sure is the Bears lucked out with the 3rd easiest strength of schedule this year. The 3rd easiest. So that's why you'll see when we get to the later rounds. I pumped them up this year from what they did last year. I think they're going to finish better, but we'll see. That's fair.
They are a very improved team. So we had a chance to go over some of the judge started. We need to talk about anything else on here? I don't think so.
Nah, we're good.
We're good. All right, Green Bay Packers. The Pats.
What you got, Coach Mad Mike?
So what we got with the Pats here is the key marquee additions. I would say it's Xavier McKinney. People say it's Josh Jacobs. Okay, you lose Aaron Jones and you pick up Josh Jacobs. I don't know. I think you might have taken a little bit of a step backwards there. I actually like Aaron Jones better.
Me too.
And you lose Aaron Jones to a division rival in Minnesota.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of losing players inside your division. So I'm just not. So not only to mention that, your starting left tackle that you had forever in Bakhtiari. Now, I know he had 5 knee surgeries, but you let him walk. He's still out there. He's still not signed. I'm a little concerned about that. Not only that, but you lose your guard and John Rayan. So, I mean, there's a lot of losses that we have on this team here. Now,
those boys protected Love last year. I mean, those guys are amazing.
Yeah, but what I do like is they had some very, very solid draft picks. I mean, I'm really a fan of what they did in the draft. I mean, picking up Jordan Morgan, I think's amazing. I think he's going to look very, very solid.
You rated him very highly.
I do. I think very, very highly of him. I was actually kind of hoping he would fall to the second round where the Commanders could get him, but okay, I get it that he didn't.
I remember.
But he's most likely going to jump right in to Bakhtiari's old position and be the starting left tackle.
You don't think there's any chance that the Pack signs Bakhtiari back now that he's healthy?
I think I don't. David's a very interesting dude because he got medically cleared a couple weeks ago, and he's still out on the street. And
strange
for nobody to have signed him by now is a question mark. But I've got a theory behind that. Sometimes these real big veterans players and some that have a lot of injury history, they don't want to screw around in voluntary practices. They want to work out in a clean, safe environment, and he's going to want to be readily available and ready to sign when all the mandatory stuff comes, like preseason into
there.
there.
Do you think that is? Do you think in July he picks up a contract?
Yeah, July, even into August.
Wow. Okay.
Because sometimes remember, he just got medically cleared, so he wants to be strong. He wants to get his confidence back. He's probably in the gym. He's building up strength. He's probably working on conditioning. He's probably doing all the kinds of things that he needs to. So when he hits there, he can say, "No, I'm the starting left tackle."
That makes sense. If somebody else don't snap him up, because someone's going to need somebody.
The
Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, my team can use them for sure. But there's other teams like the Jets are interested in them too. So there's other teams out there that are
in Rodgers reunion. Is that what you call him, Coach Matt?
It could happen. I mean, he likes that area.
I like that call. That's why he's the coach.
And I would not be surprised if he ends up with the Jets at all. I'm just curious on who's going to pull that trigger first. Right. And so then you look at the other ones. I'm telling you, Adrian Cooper, linebacker, solid pickup. Jamin Bullard, solid pickup. I'm telling you, Marshawn Lloyd out of USC at running back.
You like him.
He's going to back up Josh Jacobs.
You like him. And Jacobs had an off year too last year.
So if you don't think Marshawn Lloyd, even don't be disguised by the fact that he's a third round pick. He's going to get some carries. That guy is going to get some carries, and we're going to see early on if he's good or not.
And Jacobs goes down, he's a starter.
There's some things that I like there. I want to show you guys the depth chart here a little bit on this guy. So you see Josh Jacobs on there. Okay, I'm fine with the way that looks right there. But like I said, don't be surprised that third round draft guy doesn't sneak up and stealing some number one carries there. Yeah, we know Jordan loves the guy there. And I will tell you, when I look at the line, Rasheed Walker at left tackle, Bakhtiari coming back, I can see it, right? Now, they have Jordan Morgan here at right guard on this particular one. I don't see that. I see him being the starting left tackle, honestly. And I see them going a completely different way at right guard. The guy who I have going at right guard on there is probably going to be Josh Myers. But we will see. We will see how that works out. Now, they got Josh Myers at center on here, and the center I got on here is Zach Tom. So, I am not in agreement with NFL.com and their projected depth chart. I am not in agreement at all. But we'll see what happens, right? Because they have Zach Tom at right tackle. So,
Mike,
these players are all over the place.
Did the Pack improve this year? Or did the Pack slip back to the back and back?
So I am going to say that they're looking flat to me.
Flat.
They're looking pretty flat. I am not seeing it. I am very interested in Adrian Cooper at linebacker. I think he's going to be a very, very interesting dude to watch because I think he has some really good breakout potential. And Xavier McKinney, I told you, his pickup in free agency, I like him better than I like the pickup of Josh Jacobs.
A lot. Yeah, I agree.
So
I think defensively, the Pack improved. Offensively is a huge question mark, right?
Yeah, I think so. And the fact that you have multiple people reporting a mix up on what's happening on this offensive line. Like if I go to Our Lads, they say one thing. If I go to ESPN, they see something else. I go to NFL, they see something else. Because you see these huge disparities of like who's lining up where, that's concerning to me. Like typically people know who the starting left tackle of a team is and who's the center of a team.
Yeah, those are solid. You got to name those. They got to be solid, right?
Yeah, the fact that you got names all over the place, it just kind of leaves a little bit of a question mark to me.
All right.
So anyway.
Woo, the Vikings.
The Vikings. So the Minnesota Vikings key additions. Aaron Jones. I think I just talked about this come from Green Bay. I think that was probably not the greatest pickup. I will tell you, Jonathan Grenard. I know you're pretty high on him. I'm okay with him.
Yeah, he had a good year last year. That's a very good pickup in my opinion.
Darnold. I am kind of like, to me, these are not marquee kind of additions to me. I will tell you the big loss to this team was losing Kirk Cousins to Atlanta.
Yeah.
That is like, I'm sorry, but you just went backwards, buddy.
You think they could have kept him? You think they could have made a deal?
They paid so much. I think they could have, but here's the deal with them. Like when they got him from Washington, they made him the highest paid quarterback.
Yeah, they already did it once.
But he didn't, like, at the moment that they signed him, at that time, they believed that they had a team because they went to the divisional champion or the conference championship.
That was their year to go to the bowl.
Yeah, the year before they went to the conference championship, and they figured if they had a quarterback that they would have a chance to get to the Super Bowl. They never even got to that level.
Yep.
So they never even got back up to a conference championship under his watch. So it was a huge disappointment with how much they invested in him not to see the return. So the question was, do we pay out the money and continue on the path that we are, or is it time for a change? And they decided not to pay the money. And so Atlanta did.
I have a critical question, Coach Mad Mike. Do you think if they had played for Cousins, got him, and then still went out and got J.J. McCarthy in the draft, do you think that would have been better than getting rid of Cousins, bringing Darnold to school up J.J.? Which one do you think is the better option for them?
I always like the Green Bay Packer model, which was the old Vince Lombardi model, is like you keep your starting quarterback and you draft for the future. And to have J.J. McCarthy develop underneath Kirk Cousins, that would have been the ultimate thing, because
I totally
what we're hearing out of Minnesota is J.J. McCarthy needs work. We heard that several times.
Can't find either ass cheek with a hand.
He's like when they asked him about it, like, oh, he needs work. Like that tells me, okay,
he needs work. Yeah, he needs work. He
needs work. So like that's not like a glowing like comment of confidence right there. So like to me, you would want somebody like J.J. McCarthy. I think he's going to be a good quarterback in this league, but why not develop him underneath somebody? Yeah. Right. And so you could have done that with Cousins, but hey, history
somebody with better success than Darnold has, right?
Yeah, it didn't happen, right? So like, all right, so Kirk Cousins is out, J.J. McCarthy's in. I hope you get him ready, because otherwise you're going to have a rough season, like a rough season. Because Sam Darnold, I think we know what Sam Darnold's about in this league.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I do like Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner as an outside linebacker. When I pull up the next depth chart, they have him as an edge. I don't have him as an edge. I have him as an outside linebacker. But him coming over from Alabama, I think is huge. This guy is a generational linebacker kind of guy. Like this guy,
because they lost both their linebackers. They're good ones. I mean, those are huge losses for the D.
Yeah, Daniel Hunter is a huge loss, but I think Dallas Turner is that guy. So I think that you have on here as JJ the answer long term. Yeah, probably, maybe. I mean, it depends on how he develops, right? You never know. You hope. I tell you what, the Minnesota Vikings played the draft board well, because I thought they were going to trade up to number 4 to get him. They played their cards right, and he just started falling and fell right into their laps, man.
Yeah, that was a good pick by them.
They played their cards really, really well. I tell you what, their GM gets an A+ for that.
And but you see, the Vikes didn't have anything in depth in the second or third round. So, I mean, they missed out on a lot of opportunity.
Well, when you had 2 first-round picks, I mean, I'll take that over a second and third.
But still worse than death.
And getting Dallas Turner, if he turns out to be like the next Ray Lewis or something, okay, great, right? But you don't know about that either.
Right. I'm just saying they're going to pick a quarterback. They had one because they got rid of theirs. They had no choice. So that's a gimme pick in the first round. Turner was the real move. And then they didn't have anything after that, really, right? That's going to be a starter. So I think they're a lose-lose all the way across the board between free agency and the draft, except the one bright spot of Turner.
Yeah, I think Turner's definitely a bright spot. But show me where they improved.
Where else did they improve? I mean, Greener's an improvement. Jones is okay, yeah, but I mean,
I really don't see the improvement. I think they're going to struggle this year. Actually, this is going to be a building year.
Yeah,
it's going to definitely be a development year for McCarthy. So, I expect to see Dallas Turner shine in spots, but there's not a lot to work with. I think with this team,
he should get lots of opportunity, right?
Yeah, and I know Arnold Jones, when he plays against Green Bay, he'll have a chip on his shoulder, but whatever.
That's gonna be
I just don't see a lot happening here, honestly. Yeah. So that takes us to our standing predictions. This one got interesting because I'm very high on the Detroit Lions, and we still have them winning the division, but you had them dropping a game.
I got them dropping a game. Luck was on their side last year. I don't know if it will be this year. We'll see. I think everyone in the division, except for Minnesota, improved a bit. So the Bears definitely gave them a run for the money, and so did Green Bay last year. And if Dan Campbell, I'm telling you, if Dan Campbell can learn how to use the kicker of this Dan just caught a football, and you have a guy on your team called a kicker, and if you learn how to use them, you might win a couple later. You could.
And in a game of football, sooner or later, a foot needs to be on a ball.
Yep. So I'm saying Dan Campbell is still Dan Campbell, and he ain't learned nothing. That's why I'm downgrading him a game.
Oh, man. Man, you are very hard on your own team.
I got to call it like it is.
Yeah, but, I do think, especially defensively, when you're looking at Davenport, you're looking at especially DJ Reader. Oh, my gosh. These guys are, to me, it's a scary combination with Reader and McNeil side by side to each other. That reminds me of my team, having a Jonathan Allen, Jerome Payne kind of guy, right? Mm-hmm. That is when you can shore up the middle like that, it just frees up so many other things that you can do along the line with your linebackers. And then when got a guy.
It stands to reason with the improvements on the D that the Lions should have less games this year where they're playing from behind and have to catch up and pull it off in the last minute, 2-minute drive. There was a few of those games last year, right? It stands to reason we should have solved that problem, but remains to be seen. That's why I'm still in the division, but I'm cutting them a game.
Well, your defensive line, I think, got better, and I think your secondary definitely got better.
Yeah.
So
we should be better positioned for the offense to do its thing. And we didn't even talk about the running backs who are still there behind our O-line. So,
yeah.
With the defense standing up, yeah.
Now I do, and you made these projections here, and I didn't change any of them, and it's because I think you're right. I do see the Bears having. I think the one thing I changed was I had them going in as a wild card spot.
What did you say, Coach Mad Mike? Let me hear what you said.
I said that you had a temporary insanity moment where you actually did something that made sense.
Coach Mad Mike likes my picks. I'm improving. I'm learning.
Oh man, even a broken clock's wrong twice a day.
Whew.
No, man. You did a good job on your projections here, and I do. And the only thing I changed on here was I added the little X behind the Chicago Bears because I think with that kind of record and their improvement, if Caleb Williams can handle things, and all the analysts say that he can, and that he's the guy, right? If that all comes together, they could be a wild card team.
Yeah. I definitely saw the Lions improve their D, which should put them back in the same position. But between the Packers and the Bears, I saw the Bears put more pieces in place between free agency and the draft to help them out. And of course, I got the bing or bust on Caleb Williams, right? But nonetheless, on paper, they are ahead of the pack, in my opinion. So that's why I put the pack down one. And the Vikings, I just think are they're lost in the sauce. And
I think that you said like the Bears have an easy schedule too. So like so that's going to really help.
That's why I gave them a game. Yep. Oh, I probably had them both 9-8.
So you gave them a good 3 games, and I think that that's fair. So like when I look at the pack, the same record, right? But they drop a spot because just the Bears improved that much, right?
What was the Vikings' strength of schedule? It was 14th, right?
We can go back and look at it. I don't remember off the top of my head.
They got the 5th hardest.
5th hardest.
Yeah, no, that might be generous.
It might be generous. Yeah, they might be 5-12. But I mean, they're going to struggle. I really think the Vikings are going to struggle, especially in this division, especially with the rest of their strength of schedule. Man, I would have to go pull their schedule and then see, really, do we really see 6 wins there?
Mm-hmm.
We might not see 6 wins there.
I mean, right? I'm a Jefferson fan. Jefferson is amazing, The boy's going to catch some balls no matter what happens.
He's got to get somebody to throw it.
I might get him over. Might get him 6. In the division, I think they're 0, bottom of the division. I think they lose against Green Bay, Chicago, and Detroit all games.
Yeah. So, well, there you have it, folks. You have the NFC North, man, and we have your Lions, Large Sarge, winning it again. And let's see how far they go in the playoffs. I think that they have a good shot this year. I think they got it all together. I think this is the year. If you guys are going to do it, you got to do it this year, man.
Man, I got the faith, but the proof is in the roof.
Yep. And you guys pay attention, because if you're a Lions fan like Large Sarge is, we will do a Lions special edition coming up within the next week. I've already got it put together. We just got to film it. So it's going to happen, people. And so keep a lookout for that. And if you have any other special requests, put them in the comments below. If you
we will be posting this in the community for a poll to see if you all agree with us. We appreciate you all paying attention and getting your votes in. There's been some differences between the coach and I and all of you. So we appreciate that, because you all have great input. So please hit the community poll and give us your votes on what you think.
And we want everything recorded so we can go back and analyze it. Who was right? Yeah. Who was wrong? All right, this is Football Psyche. We're right here.
Love you, bro. Have a good one. Go Lions.